Hi everybody, it's your girl Tofu. We are back today with some Game of Thrones. Before we get into today's video, I just want to give a huge shout out and a huge thank you to our friend Ivan. Ivan, thank you so much for deciding to become a patron of this channel. It means a lot to me. It allows me to continue cranking out these Game of Thrones videos, and when I say cranking out, I mean sitting at a computer for 12 hours and editing constantly for these videos. But it does mean a lot to me when you guys pledge a certain amount each month. It helps me out because these videos take so long to edit, and I just got a Game of Thrones video demonetized, so that was fun. So Ivan, welcome to the Being Curd Army and the Being Curd Army family of patrons. Thank you so much. And I want to do one more thank you before we get into today's video. Vinny, thank you so much for the PS4 mug. It is so cute. Actually, like, it kind of matches me, doesn't it? It's so perfect for recording because I'm always sipping on something, and it makes me so happy when you guys send me a little something. It just brightens up my day, and I just get so surprised when I go to the mailbox. It's like, oh, bills, I'm poor, oh my god, someone sent me something. So it just brightens up my day. Thank you so much. So let us get into today's episode. Okay, I do want to let you know that I am watching all the intros, even if I do not include it here, or the sound. Jesus Christ, this is the way editing takes me so long. Like, I'm like, okay, what's gonna get demonetized? Wait, is he alive? They're sewing him up. I feel like you can't survive that, but maybe he's alive.
I stood vigil for him myself last night.
Wait.
He had no one else.
Never mind.
All the nice straws last
It was rigged!
Aye.
It was rigged. Someone rigged the straw. Ah! Wait, sorry, my microphone, I just knocked it over. I'm really clumsy today. Queenie obviously commissioned him, or someone else commissioned him, to kill John Arryn. Not Aryan, Arryn. I've been saying it wrong. I'm sorry. And Queenie or whoever commissioned him knew that, and he knew that, but he's a liability, so they just want him out of the picture. So then they rigged this jousting tournament thing so that he dies, because as long as the squire's alive, there's someone who knows what he did himself. So when he's dead, no one knows what happened. That's what I'm thinking. Someone rigged the whole jousting competition thing. Probably Queenie.
Life is strange. Not so many years.
I was just talking to a few of you guys about Life is Strange, like, this morning, so this is funny. Okay, it's probably not funny to, like, half of you, because half of you guys don't probably game, but, like, that's funny to me. So, carry on.
You're too fat for your own.
Oh!
Fat? Is that how you speak to your king?
Are they gonna laugh?
Oh, it's funny, is it? No, you're great. No, you don't like the hands joke. You heard the hand. The king's too fat for his armor. Go find the breastplate stretcher.
There's no way to win with the king, and I love that.
Why? Because I'm king? Piss on that. I want to hit somebody.
This is kind of weird, but Robert kind of reminds me of, like, a toddler. Like, he has the emotional, like, range of a toddler. Like, he wants to run around, do whatever the fuck he wants. He wants to boss people around, and he wants to hit people. Like, he just reminds me of, like, a man baby, you know? That's all.
But Cersei insisted.
Cersei insisted. She has a certain amount of power even over the king. Yep.
I thought being king meant I could do whatever I wanted.
You kind of do that, though.
Oh. Bow, you shits!
Emotional range of a toddler, kind of. He just finds kind of, like, the crude stuff really, really funny, and the fact that he, like, didn't go out with a shirt, like, he's just kind of immature, and that's fine. Like, it's funny, but, like, it doesn't really make for a great king. Oh, something I did want to briefly talk about. When the king and Ned were laughing together, it just kind of hit me that, like, yes, I really, really love their friendship, and I love that they can kind of joke around with each other, even though Robert is king. And then I was, like, thinking to myself, I'm like, oh my god, like, Robert's, like, such a good friend. I'm like, wait, no. If he was a good friend, he'd let Ned stay at home with his family where he wanted to be. But instead, Robert, being the kind of 2-year-old man baby that he is, he tends to be a little bit selfish. So because of that, he's like, no. It doesn't really matter what you want, even though you're my friend. Like, I need you here running the kingdom for me so that I can just have more freedom and do whatever the fuck I want. I like their friendship, but I don't think Robert is actually, like, as good of a friend as, like, I somehow, like, initially thought. He doesn't have, like, Ned's best interests in his mind. It's only his best interests. So it looks like the jousting tournament is still going on from last episode. Yeah, so we still have the Mountain with us, and I guess he's gonna fight someone new, who will probably die. Who's that? There was... there was a really pointed look between them. Are they somehow trying to like woo Sansa into something because they were just like really kind and then they just like looked at each other and like locked eyes after that? Yeah, look, he looks so much more confident and so much more smug than the squire. I think he might survive this.
What will I buy with 100 gold dragons?
You could even buy a friend.
He's going to...
The shade. The shade. Okay. Is he gonna die or gonna live? I think he's gonna live. Oh, snap. Oh, he did way more than live. He just knocked the mountain off. Okay, work.
Such a shame, Littlefinger. It would have been so nice for you to have a friend.
The shade that everyone throws at each other just has me dead. Oh no, why is he calling for a sword? This does not bode well for the knight that just won. He just sliced off the head of a horse. That sword must be sharp. Oh my god. Oh my god. This show is not kind to animals. Oh my god. Or people, for that matter. Mountain has quite a temper, doesn't he? He's singing to him. Do you remember the end of last episode when Tyrion was like, nothing would ruin my supper more? It's like a taunt to Tyrion that this guy's now playing his musical instrument at him. This show is surprisingly a lot more funny than I thought it would be. It really is. There's just some really funny moments in this.
What sort of imbecile arms an assassin with his own blade?
Could I gag him? Why? Am I starting to make sense?
Tyrion, I swear to God, he's my favorite. Why am I beginning to make sense? So sassy. That was blood. Oh my. Oh, the sound of blood and squishing of the flesh. Oh. Well, clearly Tyrion Lannister can just hold his own in a battle, which I think is super awesome, first of all. But I noticed something that's, I don't know, it's probably like super obvious, but he was looking at the horses as soon as Lady Stark untied him, and then he was looking back at the people who were like kind of getting closer and closer to Lady Stark, and you could almost see the debate in his mind. He's like, oh, I could go right now, I wouldn't be missed, they're being attacked, like no one could chase after me, I'd be fine. He's like, I could just leave right now on that horse, because like I think the horse was tied up and like escaped, I think. But then he saw that Lady Stark was like getting closer and closer to doom because someone was trying to bash her skull in, and he was like, oh, I gotta go save her. Which again speaks to the moral code that we were talking about, like how Tyrion has like such, he has morals and there's only so far he's going to go. Like he knew that he could and he could get away with it and he could do it well, but he couldn't leave Lady Stark in that position where she could have died. And I think that just speaks really highly of his character and the fact that he wouldn't try anything with her son, especially as he pointed out the fact that what sort of imbecile would use his own blade? I think he's a good person. Okay, don't at me. I think he's a good person. I like Tyrion. I really do.
You need a woman? Something like a woman after a fight. Well, I'm knowing if she is.
Lady Stark's like, don't fucking look at me. Wait, is that Roz? The one that Greyjoy and Tyrion were talking about, and Jon was talking about it to the newer, slightly larger man who just, Sam? Was it Sam? They were all talking about Roz and her great...
I've been Lord Stark's ward since I was 8 years old.
That's a nice word for it. Your father rebelled against King Robert, and if he does too...
My father fought for the freedom of his people.
I don't really like Greyjoy. He's not kind. He's not kind like Ned. He's not quite kind like Jon Snow either. He's just kind of a dick, honestly. I do like Roz though. She's witty. She's like kind of like just herself. Like she doesn't really have a censor. She's not trying to suck up to the person who's paying her for her job. She's just telling it how it is, and she just says what she feels. But I really like her spirit. I think she's got a lot of spunk, you know?
I'm not gonna hurt you.
Arya's hunting cats. Chasing cats. Just like Syria said, not hunting. She's chasing them. It's a cute cat too.
May I?
There's still something slimy about bald-haired guy. There's just something about him that I just don't trust yet. I just...
What sort of doom does the king face?
The same sort as John Aaron.
He's gonna get poisoned?
As clear and tasteless as water, it leaves no trace.
Poisoned. Is Cersei gonna poison the king? Just like she did to the squire? She had someone else kill... Or, not the squire. To John Aaron. Oh...
Okay.
Is that a dragon skull? The ones that the series, Viserys, was talking about? With the girl from the sex house? And then he got like super offended for almost no apparent reason at all. Who is bald guy talking to?
Khal Drogo will not make his move until his son is born.
Oh, wait. Okay, do you remember episode 1 or 2 of this season where Khaleesi was presented with the dragon eggs as like a wedding gift or whatever? I think it was like the end of episode 1 or so. And the guy who presented them to her had some really 10 out of 10 beard braids, and he was wearing a cloak kind of like that. He looked like a Roman like person for some reason, and I'm pretty sure that's who bald guy's talking to. I'm trying to remember bald guy's name. It starts with a V, but I can't remember it. But anyway, I think that's who bald guy's talking to. He's talking to the guy who presented Khaleesi with the dragon eggs, because somehow he's connected to Khaleesi's husband, and that's why he just mentioned something about Khal Drogo's army. I think that's what's happening, but I'm not sure why they're talking to each other.
I admire your industry.
Bald guy's just getting some real screen time today, huh? 3 scenes in a row, my goodness.
Lord Redwyn likes his boys very young, I hear.
I'm a purveyor of beauty and discretion, but
How have you been since we last saw each other?
since you last saw me or since I last saw you?
Now, the last time I saw you, you were talking to the Hand of the King.
Saw me
my
with your
goodness.
own eyes.
Eyes, I own.
Council business.
I'm getting the distinct feeling that Littlefinger and Bald Guy, like, they're of equal wit, and they both have just as much power in terms of, they have eyes in the castle and on the castle grounds. Like, they're just both chock full of information, but they're also just as smart. Like, did you see that? Like, that part of the conversation right there just reminded me of, like, a tennis ball and, like, being on the court, and, like, they're just, like, whipping it back and forth and back and forth. Like, there was almost no pause between what they were saying to each other. Like, it's like a battle of the wits with these two. Like, oh my goodness. Like, there's almost no hesitation, and they just, like, keep going back and forth. Like, is that called the repartee? Perhaps.
A simple word to the Queen.
One shudders at the thought. And not long after that, when I saw you escorting a certain foreign dignitary.
Oh, someone just won the argument, and it wasn't bald-haired guy. Ooh, Littlefinger just confirmed. I think that it was someone from Khaleesi's side of the story, and not from, like, King's Landing. You know, I think it was the guy that gave her the dragon eggs.
Find myself in a position where a simple word to the king.
They just hella threatened each other, and I'm living for it. Like, they came into this conversation, like, of equal standing, equal information, knowledge, intellect, power, but then as soon as Littlefinger mentioned something about how Varys has a connection to Khaleesi and, like, her army, the one she just married into, the power dynamics just shifted so completely in that conversation. And now bald-haired guy, I literally just forgot his name again. I just said it 2 seconds ago. Anyway, bald-haired guy is in, like, the weaker position now just because Littlefinger had that one up on him. And, like, that conversation was just so much fun. I just enjoy that so much.
My father is Hand of the King.
Do you see their faces? They're like this guy over here on the right is just like, aw, fuck me. Like, look at him. He's just like, shit.
If you lay a hand on me, my father will have both your heads on spikes. Now, are you going to let me by, or do I need to smack you on the ear to help with your hearing?
Arya and Tyrion, my faves.
I didn't see them, but I think one was fat.
Arya is literally me trying to remember all of their names. I think one of them was fat. Same, girl. Same.
What were you doing in the dungeons?
Chasing cats?
Chasing a
There's a Night's Watchman here begging a word. Says it's urgent.
Is it Jon Snow? Is he visiting? Oh wait, it's not Jon Snow. I'm kind of disappointed.
You wouldn't let anyone kill him, would you?
What about poison though?
No fear on that account, little lady.
How do you prevent being poisoned? Like, you just have someone test your food all the time. Like, okay, here's like a question for you. Would you rather someone come at you with a sword, or would you rather like live in the perpetual fear of the fact that you might be poisoned at any time during the day? Like, at least with a sword, you know what's happening, you know what's happening in that moment, you know who's coming at you, you know what to expect, or maybe not know what to expect, but the sword's right in fucking front of you, you know? But with poison, like, it could just strike at any time and you're fucking dead, you know? So I don't really know the answer to my own question, but I was just kind of wondering what you guys thought.
About your wife, my lord.
Oh, about and how she's taken Tyrion. It's like the media, except it's people riding on horses. Like, there's always like a mad dash to be the first to put out the news, or sometimes if you're important enough, you can maybe get the news ahead of time to try to like squash it down. Like, if you're part of the royal family, or if you just have a lot of power, you can sometimes get news quicker, and then you have a chance to either prepare yourself for the onslaught that you're about to receive, or you can maybe deal with it in that short period of time that you know before the rest of the press will put out their pieces on the drama. And I just think that's really interesting that in this time period that's just kind of how it was. Like, he had to ride like hours and hours to get here so that Ned knew before everyone else in the world knew tomorrow, or everyone else in King's Landing knew tomorrow, when the rest of the people writing would bring the news. I just think that's really interesting how things have changed, but things are still really similar to how they were like back then, you know. All right, guys, if we're gonna have to do a part 2 of this episode, this is where we're going to end it here. I wanted to do a quick outro for you guys because intros and outros are important to me, and when they don't happen, it makes the video like really awkward in my opinion. So I hope you guys enjoyed this part of this episode, and until the next one, I hope you guys have a great day. Bye, guys.